We'll let you know about the coroner's inquest. Where and when. You'll be available, will you, Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
We need Wally as well to give evidence. Seems he was too scared to go down. He's a lucky man.
Sergeant, I've got to explain something.
Well, I think I've got everything I need from your statement, Ed.
Not quite all.
Oh? Something you forgot?
No, I didn't forget it. Alec knows. He guessed.
I'll leave you to it. He's telling the sergeant about the jelly night.
Does he have to?
Yes, Joan, he has to.
But he didn't know Westrop was down there when he set the charges. You do believe that, don't you?
It doesn't matter what I believe. That's up to the coroner.
Now, Wally, we understand the deceased engaged you because you worked in the Gold and Soak mine as a young man. So, you were able to tell him about the other entrance?
Yes, sir.
Why did you decide to use this entrance?
Because time before, Mr. Garrity stopped us.
How?
He had a gun.
What did he say on that occasion?
Not much. Get the hell out, so we did.
Did Westrop ever confide to you why he wanted to go down Gold and Soak?
Yes, sir. He said he was looking for proof about the death of his uncle, McElroy.
Quiet, please. Did he tell anyone else this?
Yeah. He got a few beers aboard and told people in the pub. And he told him.
Yes, it's true. The deceased did tell me he was looking for McElroy.
And by that, you assumed what, Mr. Hamilton?
I assumed that he believed that McElroy's body was in the mine, sir. It seemed to me there was no reason for such a belief.
You're an experienced mining engineer, Mr. Hamilton. I take it you knew that Gold and Soak was dangerous.
Yes,
Did you warn Westrop of this?
I did.
Did you advise Mr. Garrity it would be unsafe to use explosives?
No, sir, I had no idea he intended to do so.
Don't you think it's strange that here you were, an expert and a guest in his house, and he didn't consult you on such a matter?
No, sir, I don't think it at all strange. Mr. Garrity had little faith in mining experts, and that included me. He'd been misled before. He took a risky, but in my opinion, a natural decision to try and find out how far that reef of gold extended. He wasn't to know that someone was trespassing in the mine.
We'll adjourn. After lunch, we'll take Mr. Garrity's evidence.
Thanks, sir.
How much longer, Johnny? This heat kills me.
A few more minutes, Prophecy, that's all.
Can't believe Alec's still interested in Gold and Soak. Mining men. They never give up. A breed! Chasing rainbows!
I'm one.
Crazy! The whole damn lot of you.
What experience had you had with explosives, Mr. Garrity?
The usual. I mean, I knew how to handle them. I'd seen them blasting reef ore when the mine was working. I only used a small charge.
You've heard the witnesses. The description of what your small charge did to that mine.
I don't need to hear it. I was there. I saw it.
Must have known how dangerous it was.
I took a chance, that's all.
Why such a chance?
Because I was short of money. And I'd found the reef again. I couldn't afford to work it. I had to find out how far it went, if the mine was worth anything. If I could sell it.
And you didn't trust your guest, Mr. Hamilton, to advise you on this?
It was a personal thing.
Can you explain that?
Personal. Me and the mine. So much of the past had been sunk in it. No, I can't explain. I just did it.
And it never occurred to you there was anyone in the mine or its vicinity who might get hurt?
Nobody had a right to be there.
Never mind whether they had a right. Did you have any idea that Westrop was in the mine?
Of course not. Are you suggesting I'd have set off those charges if I'd known?
Nobody's suggesting anything. What we're trying to get at is the truth. Did the deceased ever confront you with the fact that he was Pat McElroy's nephew?
Yes. Some weeks ago.
Did he repeat his claim that he was searching for proof about McElroy's death?
He intimated it. I told him McElroy died, as everyone knows, out in the Gibson Desert.
Oh, yeah?
Quiet, please.
Your Honor, I thought we were here to sort out the accident that happened this week, not to bring up the rumors and distortions of 30 years ago.
Unless they relate. And the witness will confine himself to answering questions. Did the deceased Philip Westrop suggest to you his kinship with McElroy gave him some kind of claim on the mine Golden Soak and your property Jarabinda?
He seemed to think so.
And did it?
McElroy ruined us. He influenced my father, who was old and sick and wasted money on wild gambles. How could he or any relative of his have the slightest claim?
You may stand down. The verdict of this inquiry is that Philip Westrop was killed by a fall of rock due to the explosion set off in the Golden Soak mine by Edward Garrity. However, we find no reason to assume that this was other than a hasty and ill-judged decision by Mr. Garrity to try, as he says, to determine the extent of the reef ore. It would certainly have been better had he sought expert advice. The fact remains, he was within his legal rights to attempt such an action. The court records a finding of death by misadventure.
Death by misadventure. Did you hear that prophecy? Death by bloody misadventure.
I heard.
Bloody whitewash job. Flaming murder, if you ask me.
Nobody asked you.
Don't tell me you think it was a fair trial.
It wasn't a trial. Nobody was accused. Look, I was there, wasn't I, after the cave-in? With Alec and young Johnny Culpin. I tell you, Ed never knew Westrop was down there.
And I tell you, it stinks.
Say what you like. You did in Westrop like you did in McElroy.
Yeah. There was always a law to themselves, the Garritys.
Flaming cattle barons. Used to own half of Pilbara.
Just a bunch of gossips with nothing better to do than slander a decent man.
hardly ever touched the stuff. But
Relax, Ed. You were cleared.
You call that cleared? Damn it.
I was thinking of Westrop.
I know. But it's McElroy who haunts my life.
Ed, that mountain of copper. The one they call McElroy's monster. Have you got any idea where it is?
Why would I know?
I just thought he might have mentioned it. Might have dropped some hint. If we could find it, that could save this place.
No. It was only talk. Another one of McElroy's wild dreams that doesn't exist.
Pity.
I appreciate what you said in court.
There's nothing?
No reason why you should be friendly to me. Except it wasn't really for me, it was for Janet. Do you love her?
Yes.
What are you going to do about your wife?
I don't know.
Are you in some kind of trouble back in England? Thought as much. Told you once I knew you were running away from something. Whatever it is, I hope you can sort it out. For Jan's sake.
There's one thing I can do, and that's for Jan's sake. And yours. Let me test drill at Golden Soak.
Not the mine.
No. The gully on a hillside to the east. I think there's a chance that reef continues.
I used to wonder about that. But even if it did, how could we pay for a test drill?
I'll pay for it. I made some money down in Kalgoorlie. Enough to hire a rig and sink one hole.
One?
It's a gamble. I've had Johnny testing rock samples. I've been working on it. One hole. Hit or bust.
That's crazy.
Can I do it?
Could I stop you?
It's for Jan, Ed. You believe me this time, don't you?
Yes. I believe it.
You want to see me?
George Duhamel. You're right. Alec Hamilton, Johnny Kaufman. G'day.
What can I do for you?
I want to hire your rig.
You want to hire us?
Your team and your rig.
If we are free, huh?
You were at the end of the week. We checked.
You did, huh? Next thing I know, you tell me what price I charge.
Well, I know what I can afford.
Sounds like I'm not going to make a fortune on this job.
We'll fix a fair price.
Oh, listen, man. I'm French, huh? At least I was before they made me a bloody Aussie. What's fair to a Frenchman and what's fair to Australian are two different things.
But I'm not Australian, I'm English. So your whole argument collapses.
Hey. Well, I've got a hungry, thirsty crew to feed.
I'll bring plenty of beer and grub.
You're a hard man, Alec.
Let's make a party of it.
Well, maybe you got a deal, mon brave. Let's talk about the sordid financial details, huh?
Janet! Prophecy. Brought you the stores, love.
10 crates of beer.
It's the George Duhamel and his drilling team. They started work on the hillside above Golden Soak.
I heard. One hole, one hit, they're calling it in town.
What else are they saying in town?
You don't want to let a lot of gossip bother you?
I can't help it. It's what it's doing to Dad that worries me. Want a cup of tea?
Ta. Taking it hard, is he?
He sits in his study. I can't get him to eat or talk. It's as if we're all waiting. If Alec hits the reef, we survive. If he doesn't, that's it. We walk off.
No other way?
Oh, I can't see one. Oh, come on, Prophecy. The land is dead. There's no water, no rain, or any hope of it. There's just Alec and that crazy gamble with his own money.
I must be out of my mind.
Why?
So damn big. Archaean country, pre-Cambrian. I got the temerity to think I could hit a seam of ore with one hit.
Well, you worked it out. This is the logical place.
Maybe we should have sighted it to the west. Gully, I don't know. 400 feet in. Tomorrow? Sometime tomorrow, they'll either hit quartz at 700 or that's it.
That's Westropp's here.
Hello, Alec. I borrowed a ute in town. Seems the bloke at Radlett's got no more use for it.
What do you want?
Among other things, I came to see my son. Dermel. French George, eh? Nothing but the best.
Still haven't answered my question. What do you want?
I just thought I'd come out and see how you're getting on.
What, from Kalgoorlie?
Nalagine. Been there a few days. Listening to the gossip. Got to worrying about young Johnny, what he was mixed up in.
You don't have to.
Keep out of this. Mine explosion, man killed. Bad business.
It was an accident.
Real convenient one. I've been hearing a lot about McElroy's Copper Mountain. I thought you might have been out after that. Instead, you're here playing hunches, gold and soap.
There's nothing here for you.
Wrong. Birdie and me are interested. And Kadek's got you on toast. All he has to do is spill what he knows about you in England. And there's that letter you signed about the Black Ridge deal. You think about it. If that drill strikes ore, we're in on it. You coming with me? Suit yourself. But you're back on a loser.
Dad, wait. Look, I'll come with you.
I'd like that. Your mother'll be pleased.
I'll come. If you lay off Alec. If you stop trying to blackmail yourself into this. It's not right.
Look, who are you carrying the banner for? Hamilton or the Garrities?
You think everyone's the same as you are, don't you? Out for all they can get. You and bloody Kadek.
Ease up, Sonny.
Or you'll hit me? Is that your answer? It always has been.
I guess you'd better stay with your crooked mate. And don't try and tell me he's not out for all he can get.
What's the point of telling you anything? You wouldn't understand. It belongs to the Garrities. It's the last thing they've got left.
To hell with the Garrities, and don't be too sure it belongs to them either. And tell Hamilton I don't have to squeeze him. I can do this legal.
Left my folks, left my woman, the big wild world to roam. Don't know where, don't know when I'm gonna see them again. All I know is I'm traveling. I'm traveling, I'm traveling. Sometimes I feel all alone. I'm traveling, I'm traveling. Someday I'll make it back home. Singing die, da da die, da da die.
Does it bother you, my brother?
Just admiring the view, George.
The view you can have. Even in the moonlight, it still looks like the arse end of the world to me. That Chris Culpy, is he part of the deal?
No.
I wouldn't like to work for him.
You're not?
Okay. No worries, like the Aussies say. Hey, come back and sing an old bummy song, huh?
Not tonight, George. Gotta get back to Jarabinda.
Oh, Me, if I had a girl like that, I'd want to get back to Jarabinda too.
Quiet. Alec?
Nothing's wrong, is it?
Not now.
Jan, has anyone been here? A man named Culpin. Has he seen your father?
No. Calvin?
Johnny's old man. I was worried something he said.
Even if he'd been here, it wouldn't have done him much good.
Well, what's happened? How long has he been hitting it like this?
3 or 4 days. I can't reason with him. Stay, will you? Don't go back tonight.
Alec! We did it! We hit the reef!
Johnny!
We're into the ore, right on target!
Alec, I've got to tell Dad.
Yes, do. I'll be back as soon as I test the sample.
Well done.
What the hell do you think you're doing? What does it look like? I've marked the usual rectangle, 4 posts covering 50 acres.
You can't peg this land. Belongs to Ed Garrity.
Wrong, Alec. Check your facts. Garrity owns the mine and all the grazing land to the west. But not up here. He leases this area. It's Crown land. And leaseholders don't own mineral rights. I'll own them when I register this claim.
Well, you can't. Not now. Not when we've struck the reef.
Fancy that, eh? A direct hit. I'll give you one thing, Alec. You're bloody good, mate. Don't move that peg. You'll be in trouble with the law. I'm taking the original of that form into Marble Bar to register it. I told you. You should stick with the winners.
March 23rd. A mineral claim for gold, antimony, nickel, silver, iron and copper. 7 hectares, datum peg 400 metres, 28 degrees north of Golden Soak mine buildings. Signed, Chris Colburn.
What are they doing?
Well, they switched to a diamond bit.
We're 6 inches into the ore.
Go and tell Durham to pack it in. Will you want me to pay for another man's claim? For God's sake, go and tell him to stop the bloody rig!
Oh, to hell with it, George. He did the job. He had wages to pay. Come on.
Yeah. After all that, we hit it in one. What a bitch.
As you say.
Look after yourself, old bro.
You too, George. Thanks.
Alec, I can't believe it. I feel as rough as guts. That was all the tonic I needed.
Ed.
It's the best news I've had in years. What are we going to do?
Nothing. His claim's legitimate.
But it can't be.
You never pegged the area. That reef runs right through the hillside. It's his.
Oh, it makes you sick. You used to say that Golden Soap was jinxed, that there was a curse on it. I believe that now.
I'm sorry, my boy.
You're not well, Ed.
Hangover. Not used to them.
You sure that's all it is?
Disappointment. Regret. I learned to like and trust you when it's too late. Alec? Thank you, Alec. You've done all a man could do. It's up to me now.
What did he mean?
God knows. It's my fault.
No.
I built both your hopes too high. Me and my loud-mouthed ego trip. One hole, one hit.
You couldn't have known what was going to happen.
Better get some sleep. Ready?
Yes. Where are we going?
I'll tell you on the way. I want to try this before I raise any more hopes. Let's not wake your father.
That's the end of the water.
Now what?
Unless it rains, the cattle die. They can survive on spinifex or mulga for a week or so. But without water, it's hopeless.
Then the chance is worth taking.
If there really is water in the mine.
There's some. How much is what I've got to find out.
Tell Jan. Understand?
I come.
Not this trip, my friend. That's it. All right, my boy. Come on. In you get. Come on. Good boy.
You can't go in there again.
I know, but it's our last chance to salvage something out of the golden soak. The whole water table has been altered by that cave-in. I measured over 30 feet. Didn't touch bottom.
Well, then there's no way you're going to take a diesel pump in there.
Now, listen to me. It must have been a watering place. An old Aboriginal soak. The gully's a natural reservoir. We might even be able to flood it.
How?
With explosives.
Oh, Alec!
Now, don't start. I know what I'm doing. It's an outside chance, I know, but it's worth a try.
Johnny?
to Marble Bar. He'd been there and registered the claim.
Johnny, it wasn't your fault. Don't feel bad about it.
He's my father.
Look, no one's blaming you. Where's Ed?
Thought he was with you.
I'll check with Tom and see what's up.
Look, she meant that. It isn't your fault, so stop tormenting yourself.
If I'd have caught up with my father, I would have killed him.
Bloody Garrity. Wouldn't think he'd have the nerve to come into town.
Enough here to blow up 4 mines. You see Tom?
Yeah. Dad took off a couple of hours ago. Said he was going to see some of the mining companies to try and sell off another lease.
There you are.
Just a note. She wasn't there when I left. A few things I wanted to tell her.
Where are you off to?
Down the track a bit. Some business to attend to.
You look a bit beat. Come on in and put your feet up first.
Thanks all the same.
You always was stubborn. Made you better offers than that in the past.
I know.
Should have taken me up, Ed.
Maybe I should have, Prophecy. Will you see Janet gets that note?
Sure, Ed. I'll take it up myself.
Tomorrow would do, or the next day. What I mean is, it's not urgent. No rush.
Okay, now.
Thanks.
Have a safe trip. See you.
Fingers crossed. And everything else.
No sign of any seepage.
Only I could have got in deeper. Collapsed the center.
Alec!
Come on.
What the hell's that?
Ventilation shaft.
Stay down.
Ready?
Okay!
Listen to that.
It's collapsing inside. That's the end of Golden Soak.
I almost feel glad.
The end of a lot of dreams. McElroy's, your father's. Even Westrop's in his own way.
Alex, Janet! Look!
Where are you? Come back, you bloody fool!
Wait.
Alex!
Look at it!
We'll start shifting the cattle tomorrow. If Tom rides out tonight, we can start moving them at sunrise.
Better try and contact Ed.
Look, I've been thinking about that. Let me drive over to Mount Newman tonight. Maybe Ed's there or I can contact him.
What if you run into your father?
Well, that'd cross my mind, too.
You think it's a good idea?
Alec, it'd give me real joy to tell him that if the water keeps up at this rate and he wants to mine his claim, maybe he'll have to row across.
Come on, old Sam. Get in.
I can offer you grilled steak, steak tornadoes, steak au poivre, or maison spéciale.
What's that?
Steak. We'll serve by candlelight and pretend we're celebrating in a posh restaurant in Perth.
I'd rather be here.
Just the two of us.
Well, Johnny did insist on going, didn't he?
And you nearly talked him out of it. I could have hit you.
I let him persuade me, didn't I?
Just. Do you know we've got a chance now to keep this place going?
Just a chance.
Oh, we still need rain, but at least that water gives us a breathing space until the rain comes. And now I know it will. We'll wake up one morning and hear it on the roof. Have you ever heard rain on a galvanized iron roof? Oh, it's a beautiful sound. It drowns out everything else. When I was a little girl, I used to snuggle under the bedclothes and listen to it.
Now you're a big girl. Johnny changed his mind.
Oh, Dad. Darling. Surprise?